Okay, so welcome to Monday night, everyone. You know what Monday is? Well, what was the joke I heard today? You know what Monday rhymes with? Cunt. Yeah, that's right, because Mondays suck. It is the Monday after Thanksgiving, and yeah, December 1st, Cyber Monday, y'all. Those who are interested in actually picking up a blaster shroud for the piston pump or a kit for the vector or anything else that I 3D print for the Big Blaster Consortium, go ahead and actually go to bigblasterconsortium.com. Feel free to use the code Cyber Monday. That gives you 20% off site wide. That can only be used by one individual per IP one time, and that sale's going on from basically until the end of the day tomorrow. Cyber Monday is going to turn into Cyber Tuesday as well, as far as I'm concerned, because you know what? Why the hell not? That being said, today we're going to be putting together one of the Leedle builds. This is actually the lamprey. I printed it out this weekend, and I had some blue filament that I had originally used for the piston pump shrouds. What's going on, Strife? And this was the original blue that I'd selected for the PP shroud, and it wasn't quite the color match that I wanted. So I had like two rolls of it, and I needed to use it. So yeah, I printed an entire blaster like this. So it's kind of has a almost like an Elite 2.0 color scheme going on, and I'm digging it. I'm not gonna lie, I dig it. Excuse me, I had to get a drink here. Uh, I guess tonight's unofficial non-sponsor is Coke Zero for the holidays. Actually, no, it's not the holiday cup. So Coke Zero, because real heroes drink zero, only losers drink Diet Coke. Anyways, so there is not an official um Yeah, dude, I know. Of those things that bots, he told me he wasn't going to be doing a live this weekend because he was tired, and I kind of had enough energy to go live, and I wanted to do the assembly. So I figured, why not do it on camera? Apparently, Bruce has not made an assembly guide for this blaster yet, so I'm going to be winging it. You know, his assemblies are usually pretty straightforward. You know, you have the string, you have the pegs and whatnot. I will be honest, if you see imperfections on the camera, something such as this right here, this print is not perfect. This is because the film that I used was just horrendous. It's a glow PLA. I'll show you the effects of it here shortly. And it kept on having printer errors. So these lines are where I had to refeed and re-extrude the filament each time. Yeah, I'm not too happy. I did use my weaker printer, which is my A1, as opposed to my powerhouse to build this because I've been doing barrel shroud orders, and yeah, I'm backed up on orders though. Right now, like it's to the point where I'm printing two orders at the same time on the same machine. So instead of normally taking 13 hours to print one barrel shroud, it's taking 20 hours to actually print both of them. So I'm saving time, but not. So we'll see. I want to say thank you all for viewing, but let's go ahead and get looking at this. Of course, we have the main body is going to be in blue, and then of course we have the orange for the highlight secondary color, and then I have this really beautiful metallic gray filament. This is actually flash forge filament. This is Elegoo, and this is all inland. Then of course for the white, this is actually protopasta, and I mean, it's their unicorn tier protopasta. This is one of the ones that's used by Out of Darts. I actually had to buy a roll of protopasta because I was asked to print out something for Gims mods that Out of Darts had sent him that he could give away. I believe it was for the what's it called, the silly butts build, the battle axe, and somebody wanted the end strike lug attachment on the back, so I printed that piece out for them in this, and I had a half a roll of film and need to use it, so. I am not that much of a baller that I can afford to buy full rolls of protopasta yet. So let's go and actually get to assembly. The first thing we should probably start with actually is the actual trigger assembly. These are the trigger brackets themselves. Have I been doing any modeling? And also Crystal Pepsi, you're talking my jam right there. They need to bring that back permanently, and bring it back to Crystal Diet Pepsi. Have I been doing any modeling? So I am actually in the middle of a very long project to learn fusion, and once I learn fusion, I will be doing some more extreme models. This is weird because, yeah, am I missing a part again? SOB, I might be missing a part. Yeah, I remember that they brought it back in 2016. Strife. I was actually around in 1990 when it first came out, and it was my jam back then. They actually had crystal clear Diet Pepsi as well, and it's a shame. I don't know what happened to it. They released it with just the regular sugar version, which I mean, I guess that makes sense because people want their sugary stuff. So I am missing my Magwell release. It looks like, and no, these are all. Nope, it looks like I am missing a piece. I wonder what happened to that. Let me see if I can find out what happened to this. Unfortunately, this is a parts that I printed out during the holiday season, so they may be on my table. I do not know. Let's see if I can find them. Which one? There. Okay, well then. So that's unfortunate. That is most unfortunate indeed. So that is most unfortunate. I have to reprint some things, but that's okay because hopefully before I need to use them, I will be ready to go because I'm missing some pins. Shouldn't take too long to print them out. Let's get these on my big printer. All right. Sorry about this, guys. Anyways, just had to get my print started up here. It'll take about 18 minutes to get all this stuff printed out, but like I said, by the time we do everything, we'll be back. So we need. So you know what? Give me. So while that prints out, Stripe, I want to show you something really quick. This is something that new that came out within the last 2 weeks, and I sent it over to bots. I printed one out, and you can see it on camera now. I'll have to do a review on it. But this right here is Leviathan. This is actually a Leedle build that came out within the last couple of weeks. And I saw it during the last Foam After Dark, and I didn't get a chance to message Bots and Blasters about it. But this is his latest build. As you can see, it's pretty big. Yeah, well, here's the cool part about it. This right here is an underbarrel. That's actually a free file. It launches Mega XL, hits about 45 to 50 FPS. You might be able to tighten the string, but it's harder to prime, but that's a really smooth prime. And with this particular blaster, it has an angled underrail, so Mega XL launches at a parabolic angle for a true grenade experience. You know, it's pretty decent. Now this right here, I tightened the string a little too hard this time. There you go. I double loaded. Darn it. There we go. All right. So this actually hits anywhere between 110 and I've clocked up to 128 with it. So it is HVZ compliant and it is a nice lever action. I've got this thing on super tight. Naturally, you can actually reach that up a little bit, but that is a very smooth lever action. And there you have it. And again, it's about $7 for the entire blaster to actually buy the file. I think printing, it uses about 1.5 rolls of filament. That's with my prints. This thing has dropped already onto a hardwood floor without breaking. The only issue I've run into this is that I tried to run it in below freezing temperatures here in Ohio on Sunday. We had a little Sunday fun day skirmish in my backyard, and I was actually tagging people left and right with it from my deck area, and was holding my own against a Quick, a Viper, and some other, all sub 150 FPS blasters. So, yeah, I was impressed with how this thing performed. The only issue I ran was, again, that the elastic cord snapped because it was below freezing outside, and it became too brittle after a while. So, there you have it. This is Leviathan. I'll eventually do a review on it. And, yeah, Leedle has been pumping out designs left and right in 2025. So if you want to include that one for the next Foam After Dark, there you have it. Yes, it is a stringer master key. Sorry, it's hard to read the chat from that distance, guys. Now, let's get back to this because obviously this uses part B, and the trigger assembly goes right here. Now, on the Leviathan, it actually comes with a trigger spacer for this. So I got to find spring pin B. That's a pin C. Looks like pin B is one of the ones that I lost. So pin B needs to print out first. Fantastic. That stinks. Let me see if I have any prints. That's A. I need to print out A as well. That is A as well. Great. So I am dead in the water for 17 minutes. But that's okay. Now, I do want to go ahead and check a couple of things. This actual blaster, it is made for standard length darts. I am wondering if a mag adapter will work on this. Once we actually get it assembled, I will. It looks like it has just regular Nerf mag geometry, so there's no reason why a mag adapter should not fit in here. And if that's the case, then this turns into both a full length and half length, which puts it right there with Excalibur, and that's pretty cool. Store exclusive blasters, awesome. So, what did you talk about with store exclusive blasters? And is it something that I would agree with you on? Because, in my humble opinion, I think that's the worst thing that's happened for the enthusiasts in the hobby. And I can give you my own personal opinion as to why, but that's neither here nor there. Okay. So it is neat. I do find it cool because it makes it more fun to go hunt things down. I'll say that. Um, the main drawback is that when you have store exclusivity, you run into the situation where there are certain stores that exist in parts of the U.S. that do not exist in other parts. So, for example, Target is not as widespread as, say, a Walmart, and in rural areas, it's hard to find a Target. So when Dart Zone does a thing where it's like, oh, well, only at Target for the pro stuff, unless it's like, the Nexus Pro and whatnot, you have a hard time finding it. And that's one of the issues I have. It does create a rarity. And the other problem that I find is that it also feeds into what I think is the scourge of the hobby, and that is the black market. The black market, what I'm referring to is the resale market. And those are the, for lack of a better word, and I'm going to just curse right now, the fuckwits who will go into an Ollie's and buy 30 of the NX1s. Those are the Nerf action experience pistols, and that they'll buy them for $15 and then turn around and resell them for like 35 online because, oh, well, they're rare, were never released, and oh, I bought every single one when I saw them. Those guys can honestly smoke a bag of dicks. Yes, it is easier to find stuff in the online world, of shopping. However, again, that's where you run into the resale market, which you find people on Mercari. Mercari is a great example of this one, where I know after Black Friday sales, I'm going to see prices on blasters that were on sale on Black Friday. Once Black Friday is over, they're going to be on Mercari for almost double or triple the price. Not quite, a little bit above retail, basically. And that's going to be a blaster that could have been on the store shelf for somebody, but they can't find it. And the person who bought it is turning around and reselling it. They liquidated the stock in the store so that a potential person could have bought it at that price who needed it, and they're turning it around to sell a profit. And you know what? There's going to be people out there and say, "Oh, you know what? They're working to get make money." Look, I can appreciate a good hustle, like anyone else, but that's just scumbaggery behavior. Exactly. That's kind of like people on marketplace who will sell things, and it's like, "Oh, well, it's this much." I'm like, "Fuck off." Um, and eBay is another haven for this. I saw something on eBay, and I wish I'm recording on my phone. I might switch to my computer eventually. Maybe I can do split my screen up. But eBay is a perfect example. There's a listing right now on eBay for a Worker Retaliator mod set, which is obviously used. You can see the XPT has had its pegs cut. You can see everything done. And they're charging like $50 for the kit. Now, I understand one thing that's in there is that's worth it is the actual pump kit mechanism, the pump the prime bars, because those are aluminum, they're hard to come by, and normally they're like $37. But again, it is a used item. You know, you are trying to make a profit back on something that is a used item. The XPT is like $9. You know, So when you combine that, it's like, okay, you're charging for the XPT, plus then you have the shipping, which in my case it'd be like $17 to get it shipped to me. And I'm like, that's almost like $60 right there. I could buy it brand new. So and not pay shipping. What's going on, Amy? Hey, what's going on, Builder BB? Sorry guys. My chat's on my computer over here. I can kind of see it on my phone, but I'm blind. Um, the other thing that I'm glad that's starting to collapse is actually that resale market. Now, on the flip side, it's good because you get modders that actually are able to sell things that have modded them. They've actually done really nice work. I'm actually going to shout out to somebody. He is not a subscriber. If he ever does subscribe to me, that'd be awesome. But he's actually a nerfer here in Ohio, in South Ohio, and I want to make it a point to go to Kane because maybe he might be there. But his seller name is Crispy Wonton. Crispy Wonton, and he does some fantastic integrations and fantastic paint jobs. But he charges, and he charges a lot. Like I can't afford his stuff, but it is some beautiful work that he does. Like he does some integrations that I'm just like I would want to buy it, but I couldn't use it because it's art. It is literal art. He did a Revoltinator mod. I think it was like a Revoltinator with a Stampede and a Strife mixture that I was just like, what? So yeah. Well, Andy, let me know what when it is that you go to Kane. I'll see about making the trip down there. I mean, it's only like an hour and a half of a drive for me. It's a I mean, I think it's like $20 for the day. So yes. Now, what I will tell you though, and again, Stripe, we really got to do this dual show where we talk about what the Nerf or what the foam or I two smoke crack. Talking about the eBay listings because there are a couple of sellers that we could talk about, and especially Mercari. And the one that I will warn is the one that I've pretty much been able to confirm is the owner of Foamdemic. And they, mind you, they have some really great pricing for blasters that you find on there. And if you're looking for a project blaster, like a project shell, yeah, absolutely. I would trust to go buy it because it's a decent price. It might take a little time to get there sometimes, but it's a decent price. We're talking like $8 for a Raven, plus shipping. And but then there's the 3D printed things where it's just like, okay, do I want a work like a project to work on? So Um, so yeah. Again, for those of you who like see the title said, "Hey, it's a stringer build," I'm actually waiting on my printer. There were some parts that I had that have like disappeared. They were on my like original mod table, and I don't know what the heck happened. I had a big party here last night, and stuff got moved around. But that's okay. It happens. So it's all right. I'm not upset. Things happen. I'll get it reprinted, and that's it. Once things get reprinted, we'll be good to go. It's not going to take too long, I hope. And yeah, working on some pins and some little things that are needed for this blaster build. In fact, this should almost be done. It'll be done in about 3 minutes. So that's the good thing about my printers is they're all high speed. So we'll see this here soon. Rad Dads of Foam. I mean, I'd like to think I'm a rad dad of foam. I mean, I do have a kid. He's been on my channel before, so it's kind of funny. I always tell him because he's like he complains about sometimes about not having friends, and I've told him like, dude, go to your school, tell all the guys in your class, all the boys in your class, because he's in like 7th grade or 6th grade. No, 7th grade now. Tell all the boys in your class what your dad does, and show them a picture of the garage, and I guarantee you that they'll want to come over and play. Because literally, I have a standing rule that whoever comes to my house, the only way that you're walking without a free blaster in your hands is because you choose not to grab one. Hey, what's going on, Manta? You know what? Oddly enough, I was talking about you this weekend. So yeah, that's my A1. My P1 is over here, over that way. My Mini is next to that one. Yeah, and then that's the resin printer, which I'll be honest, I bought it and I'm still yet to actually use it. It was an auction buy. I think I paid $15 for a resin printer. So, all right, this is almost done. There's like 2 minutes left, and then we're gonna be doing this Leedle build. Um, yeah, it's the lamprey. That's what it is that we're building today. You know, I want to actually get this assembled. I don't think that Bruce actually has an assembly guide on it done yet. Not one that I saw. So I was like, you know what? Hey, I'll make a fool out of myself and try to assemble this at one take while live. All right, that is almost done. Let's see here. Just doing the final layer. Sing to me, printer. Sing to me. I love that song. All right, so the printer's done. We got our pins. We can get to the assembly. All right. Now, more than likely, I'm going to have to use a hammer to get some of these pins in because of the fact that they're not done on the same printer, different print tolerances. So let's see here. What have I missed? Dude, if what you're putting out is with Elegoo, that's fantastic. My setup, I'll be honest with you, I go with bamboo because my first printer, and I've told this story so many times, it's comedic to me now. Um, when I first dipped my toes in 3D printing, it was I got started with an Ender 3, the V3 quote unquote Pro, and I had done my research online horribly, and I was like looking for the best printers for beginners, and that was the highest ranked one. I was like, "Oh, okay, I don't know. Let me try this out." So I found one that was used, and the guy said, "Oh, well, I'm getting rid of it because I've upgraded my shop." I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, that's cool. I'm just learning." He's like, "Yeah, it still works." I'm like, "Okay, works." I printed one thing. It was a little sentry bot from Fallout, one of the Vincents from New Vegas, and it kind of printed out okay. And then I tried to print something else, and it kept on failing. I'm like, what the fuck? And I never got a single print out of that printer again. So I was just like, you know what? I'm done. I am done with this. Getting rid of this thing. I recouped my money because I sold it for like $50 to a person who fixes printers, and he seemed happy with that price. I'm like, all right, whatever. Um, and I waited. I was like going to other people. I was like, hey, can you print this for me? I'll pay you. Um, and then one of the guys was like, dude, you pay so much for this stuff. Why don't you actually get a 3D printer? I was like, well, what's the good print? The guy who actually taught me everything about 3D printing. And he sold me onto the Bamboo A1. It was on sale. I could go with PayPal and just pay over time. And I'm like, all right. And I just fell in love with Bamboo Lab printers. They were great. I had the A1 Mini. I was stupid and didn't get the AMS combo. But then I got the A1 because that same guy had an A1 with the AMS combo, and he had so many printers he just didn't have space for it. And I was like, I'll buy it off you, and he sold it to me for like $475. So I got the A1 with the AMS. And then for the longest time, I was just doing the pet projects and whatnot. My mini went down for a little while, and I had the A1, so I was just like, all right, just leave the mini be. Um, and then the P1 went on sale, and I started to talk about the consortium to some people. And I had people that were like asking me for prints, so they could do YouTube reviews. I'm like, all right, I got this. Um, and then I got the P1, and then that's when everything took off. So it's like, so I have the two big bed printers and then the one small one. My plan is hopefully in early 2026 to get at least another large bed printer so I can print more stuff. Oh, all right. So, anyways, let's get back to designing these things. I'm going to take my glasses off because I'm actually farsighted. And so this should be the trigger assembly right here. That's these two parts. Then we have the trigger. You can see the holes will line up like so. And this is pin B. So we're going to put one pin B for now because that's what actually holds the trigger in. This is pin A. That's pin A. That's pin C. There's pin B. All right. So pin B is going to go in here. Wow, it actually does fit just fine in here. Sweet. All right. Now, this should probably go. Why did you do this, Bruce? Okay. I see what we're doing here. So I'm questioning this because normally he would just make this one large part, but he decided to do two parts, and I'm wondering why. So that'll be fun to put together like so. But this should go back here. Also, we are going to want to use lubrication. Ah, there it is. So with all things in life, use lube. So this part, I guess, goes in here as well now. So we're going to do B in here as well. Now this is different than what he normally does because normally the trigger is held in place, but I guess this is actually a sliding trigger mechanism, it looks like. So I guess he just recycled part of his design. We'll see how that works. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and actually do this right here. Let's get. Oh, that's not right. Okay, that looks like it's doing it correctly. It looks like this part might go up here. Yep, that one goes up there. And then This one should go down here to hold that together. All right. Yep. And then I'm going to guess that this goes here. This is our magwell design. Mag release, I should say. And then this is a pin A. Get this in here. It's a really loose fitting pin, but okay. I'll probably add some glue later on to get these to fit in right. Now this actually has another hole here where this has to go through. Let's get that in. It's hard to do on camera because I have to be able to line a hole through a hole. Go. All right, well then, as they say, it's hammer time. Or should I say mallet time? It's never an assembly guide with me unless the mallet comes out, right, guys? Now, the question is this the right way? Because the holes don't quite line up. There we go. They line up that way. All right. So with the support pins, there's two that are obviously closer than the other ones. The further spaced ones go in the back. It's B. That's C. I guess I did not print out enough of pin A again. Good God. There's a lot of pins for this thing. All right. Let me see something here. This is just horrible. Oh, shit. Well, then, this might take a little bit longer. That's okay. All right, guys. So this is why you should never actually do stuff on a computer when you're farsighted without your glasses on. Because yeah, apparently I saw or I saw single digits as opposed to double digits. It's supposed to take 22 pins. So yeah, this is a pretty big blaster. Um, but yeah, so while that's printing again, that's only going to take about another 20 minutes at the max. Uh, oh no, that's more than that. Weird. If you guys want to zone out, that's fine. We can still keep on chatting. Let me actually get my glasses on so I can read the chat, and we'll go from there. This is going to be an interesting one. I should have been ready for this. I guess I'm not. Bad on my part. And my hair looks like absolute shit. It's been a long day, so fuck it. I don't care. Now, those pins are going to actually go there. This is actually going to be pin B that goes in here. I do have one more pin B. And I'm going to naturally assume that this is where it gets held in. Okay. So actually, AJ, you might laugh at something I picked up today. That I may build, and then depending on what happens, if it's successful, I may actually give to you as a gift for your next HVZ event. Um, I picked up a Alpha Strike, the what was it? The flight, another one. I had one, but I got rid of it mainly because of the fact that I didn't really feel like I needed it, and also I thought it had limited mod potential. Boy, was I wrong. So it can be modded, and it should be modded. And I figured, what the heck? Why not? I'll give that thing to you because you might actually enjoy it. It would be a sleeper build, literally. It's the blue one. Yeah. So there is a flywheel cage for it. It's a mod that you can actually upgrade it and make it into a complete sleeper build that's pro level. And I think it would be fun to put a 130, put a HVZ spec to it to a flight because nobody would see it coming. Because who on this green earth would use an Alpha Strike blaster? I kind of wish that I had the yellow one, to be honest, because I like the look of the yellow one, but the blue one's fine. I had it before. It was okay. I got rid of it because it's inferior to the Strife, and there were so many other blasters. I just had to get rid of some. My understanding is that they don't have solvent welding, and even if they do, it's just the hot water trick. So at that point in time, since it's a Alpha Strike, and I'm gonna gut the wiring anyways, why not dip the entire blaster in hot water to get rid of the solvent? Just saying. Um, and just go with it that way. That should be that. There really should be a trigger spacer for this thing, but it's not there. There's not included in the files, at least. I might make one, but that should go like that. And then we're going to put these bars here. Of course, I'm going to lubricate this channel right here. This is where the priming bars go in. Damn it. That's what happens when I don't put pins in, because I didn't print them out. Move it this far as well. And these little pins should go in here. Ah. Okay. Cobain wrappers. Interesting. Um, I've seen some interesting wraps before. I've never used Cobain, but I mean, it would work, and it would help with colors. So yeah. Says the person that was in a hospital and had to get Cobain wrapping all the time on his IV wounds. Yeah, I've seen the rainbow colors of Cobain wrapping. I'm gonna assume that this goes like this on the pump grip. And it does. Well then. Oh, okay. I see you, Bruce. Okay. All right. I see how this works. That's the pump grip. Okay. Starting to take shape. Actually, then I guess this one actually goes up here. Single one goes in single one, I'm assuming. Nope. Okay, the two go into the back. Which means that this goes like this. Where did it time? I got some filament that's stuck in there. Okay. Because that's the crappy filament that I used. Had some filament breaking in here. All right. So this right here. Let's see if we can get this in properly here. Too much of a fuss. Okay. That slips in just nice. Okay. And then part back in here. Oh. Okay. So I put a pin in before I put the support part in. That's my bad. Gotta take it out. Again, for those tuning in, I have not been able to watch how this thing is built. This is just me winging it, which is prepare to see me make some mistakes because I have no clue what I'm doing here. And then this part has to go somewhere as well. So I'm assuming naturally that this sear goes somewhere. Or is this the pusher? Huh. Yeah, like I said. So this has to go back like so. Where did that part fall? There it is. Okay. Where'd my pusher go? There. That's going to fit in here. That's part of the pusher mechanism. What are we talking about here in the chat, guys? You know, AJ, I am learning Fusion 360, so I can actually design a blaster. I might. Who knows? I'm really like the concept, like I've said in the past, of reshelling certain blasters, so you can just recycle them and breathe life into them. So let's say you thrift a Strife or something else like that, or Retaliator, something that you could actually reuse the parts. Maybe get an upgrade spring and just get a whole new 3D printed blaster out of it. Um, because you find Retaliators all over the place. You see a brain saw all over the place. Pick it up, gut out the parts, and ta-da! What is what? What's what? Boost this speed up. That can go faster. All right. What am I making? I am making a lamprey. Or are you talking about what I'm planning when I learn how to do fusion? A pump action pinpoint. Yeah, I mean, yeah. But it uses actual. Actually, AJ, you would like this design. So this design, the lamprey by Leedle, AJ, it's a standard length pump action springer, that is similar in form to the Excalibur, in the sense that it has a skinny pusher, and it is made so that you could possibly put a mag adapter. I'm going to test this out and launch half darts with it. Yeah, this is called the lamprey. This is one that I 3D printed myself over the weekend. I thought I printed all the parts. I was wrong. You know, my bad. I had to apparently print out 22 pins. This should be done in about 16 minutes. So then it's a matter of just putting everything together. You know, the concept of it is that it is a pump action springer Similar in size and scope to like a prophecy or a retaliator, with little to no hardware. I think I just had a part that fell out of this thing too. Is the worst part. I'll have to find it. Oh no, no, I didn't. So yeah, ultimately, this is what the back end's going to look like by the time it's done. Yeah. There we go. Ultimately, the back end's going to look something like this, and then the front end is what I'm going to be put together. But yeah, it'll be pretty decent size. You know, has already integrated iron sight on the top, which is a nice little touch that Leedle did. Normally, he would usually put a top rail. Eventually, I may remix this and add Picatinny on the top. I think that would be a fun little attachment to this. Add a pick rail on the top of the blaster itself, or some side Picatinny rail, give it a more tactical, advantage. Definitely, probably do a side rail here because I would think that for something like this, if you were to run it in a game, especially if it's like a low powered game, you could put a little side camera here, and that way people could see how well it fires in action. So that might be a fun thing. And in typical Norman fashion, my prints are pretty solid, so they'll survive falling on the ground. So there's that. Now we are just waiting on these things to finish printing. I have one that failed. Yeah, it looks like out of 20 pins, I had one that failed. So, all right. I'll deal with that when the time comes. Okay, now this pin should be ready to seal here. Back inside, this is pin number A. Maybe? I would think. Actually, no. Oh, no. Well, one pin messed up. That's okay. I think I can sacrifice one pin. So, that being said, pin A, pin A. go ahead and hopefully start to work with this. So I'm kind of confident as to how this is going to work. Kind of being the operative word. This is going to want to slide back through here. Definitely duplicate this. Probably seeing that I'm doing a lot of lubrication on this because it's going to be plastic rubbed on plastic. I want this to be able to slide freely in and out of here. There we go. Let's duplicate this as well down here. Quiet in the Peanuts gallery. Oh, gosh. Where'd pin A? There it is. So that's that pin A. Get this hammered in here. I'll make sure that's at flush. There we go. What was 20 darts for $3? Or where was 20 darts for $3, I should say? All right. So that obviously has a bottom rail in case you wanted to attach some actual pump group yourself, though this being a stringer, you might be able to get away with that. I may eventually print out a foregrip for this. You know what? Who knows? Maybe I might do the mini angled foregrip that I did for the vector kit on here. You know what? I agree with you, Strife. Bring back Ultra. Bring back Ultra AccuStrike darts. We need to bring those back. Oh crap! I forgot to do one thing here. Oh. So now I'm going to do this like this. There we go. Okay. The way he designs his, the way Leedle designs his triggers, it's weird. You have to put this string release bit upwards. I'll show it to you in a second here. We want to angle it up through this little hoop here, because then that needs to catch forward like so. The overall point of this well, okay, so that needs to go with that. All right, sorry about that, guys. We're almost done here. Me put out some algoriters. Oh man, I would love to, but you know that would get my live taken down for copyright infringement. All right, we got 2 more minutes left, and then we're ready to put these pins in and finish assembly. I hope. Said there's pin C, but I don't see where a pin C would go anywhere yet. Unless pin C goes through the grip. Yep, pin C goes through here. So that's where my pin C's go. Almost got this taken care of. Oh boy. Yeah, I picked up a whole bunch of them when I did when I saw them at Ollie's. I was like, you know what? I spent like I think almost $100 on screamer darts because I knew that they were going away, and I like Ultra. Like I really do like them, and they're consumable. So I have a bucket of Ultra darts. I literally have an entire ammo can, 2 ammo cans, one of Ultra regulars, one just of Ultra screamers. I have an entire case of magazines filled with Ultra screamers, and then I have Ultra screamers and Aki strikes blended together. Um, I'm ticked off that they don't sell the Aki strikes are hard to find now as well. Yeah, they were $20 for like $9 for 20 on Amazon for a while, and they've gone up in price since then. But they're really the best art. Okay, so we are almost done. It's finishing the last layer. I think I may have to reprint just one, so that's fine. We'll do one print. All right, so let's get these pins on here. This should be enough to get almost everything that we need. I do have to print, like I said, one more pin, but by the time that prints, ooh, you guys get to see me correct a misprint also. Um, by the time we're ready to use that last pin, it'll be done printing, because that'll take only about 7 minutes. Send. All right, so now we get to start putting in pins. You know, pin A down here again goes through here. We want to go ahead and put the mag pusher, the pusher through here. Slide that sucker in. It's about in as it's going to get. Put that pin down. There we go. We'll fix that pin in a second here. I'm going to take pin A. Why aren't you going in there? Let's see. There we go. Should be going in there. There we go. Push that forward. All right. Okay. This is another pin A. That just slips right in there. Slip this one as well. Slip that one as well. That goes in there like that. That goes like that. It should go like that. That one should go like that. Now you're seeing that I am not touching. You're seeing that I'm not touching this particular side just yet because before I put in the front, I need to actually attach the string here and tie it all the way through. So I'm going to test. Oh no, that's not good. My trigger did not work right, so we need to actually get that pin out. See what happened here. So we got to take this part out again. Yay. That flipped all the way back over. All right. Did I put this incorrectly, maybe? I don't think I did. Sure did not. that. I did. Put it in backwards. In here. Okay, now this should hopefully. Come on, what the hell? Okay, that does cause it to rise up a little bit, so at least there's that. Not really catching very well, but damn it. Gosh. This thing is a pain in the butt. Normally they're not that it's not this difficult to do one of these or to do a Leedle build, but this one's kicking my butt tonight. Let's take this off for now. Okay. You know what? I think maybe I have it in the wrong hole. Right hole, just wrong way. The first time. Because then that is what allows this. Put through here. All right, I think I got this figured out now. Hopefully, we'll see. So this is going to go down like so. This is going to go so. My gosh, such a pain in the butt. Get in there. We're doing this live versus doing this on camera. You guys do not see me editing stuff. Not get in here. Okay, so come on, get in here. All right, now. What the hell? Okay, so it is going up the way it used to go. Let's do that part now. Why the hell are you not wanting to go all the way through? Oh, that's why. Yeah, the post already threw you for some reason. Son of a bitch. Get in there. Okay, so that is now sticking in there. Let's go unlock these pins in here so this thing doesn't move around anymore. Pretty sure that now this is I got this thing fixed. Oh gosh. It goes in like so. This one should go in here like so. This one goes in here like so. Bad well. Oh yeah. Take this one out. Put the pin straight through the mag well. Dropping pins like no one's business down here. We are going to get creative with this because I'm going to actually glue this pin down because it keeps on slipping out. Which means I'll have to work extra hard to get this undone in the future, but whatever. Great, now my glue's not wanting to work. Nothing works today. Yay. I need to use more glue, get more glue anyways, so hopefully I got some. Get that glue in there. Okay, so that pin should now hold there, hopefully. That trigger release still works, so we can now work onto the next part. Okay. Another pin A. Pin A. Right. Now we have our mag. Or sorry, our not our mag, our my gosh, our grip. This is pin C. So let's find where my pin C's are. Should have printed these out in metallic gray. I may still do that in the future. All right, so now technically we have a working blaster. We just don't have the buttstock. This is the part where we're going to want to go ahead and actually put our actual elastic cord through, which this is 4mm elastic cord. And I'm going to want to cut out, I'm going to hazard to guess about maybe 9 inches of elastic cord. And I could always cut out a little bit more and go from there. You can buy this out on Amazon for like 65 feet of this for like $9. I bought one thing of 65 feet worth of cord, and I think I've gone through like 15 builds, and I've never needed to buy more. So it's pretty long lasting. So inches, stop. A little bit more I can always cut. We're gonna string this through here. Now I'm gonna put the blaster between my legs, giggity. I'm gonna double knot this. We'll try to get it as tight as we can get it. and still be able to draw it back. Why did you not? Well, that's not working. That's not working at all. Well, bad. Let's get this up. Hopefully I can take this pin out. Good. Obviously there was an issue with the trigger. Undo this as well. Figure out what the heck is going on with this thing. Oh boy. Keep on dropping pieces. Huh. See, this is where Leedle needs to actually put a build guide on these things, because I've never seen this one put together, so I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Push this all the way down. That's all we want. That's what I want out of this for now. Things keep on sliding out. Make my life a lot harder than what they need to be. What needs to be. So that should go just like that in there. This should go through there now. Why are you not? Best guess. I have no clue what the hell's going on here, guys. So I apologize that this is taking so long. This does not want to go up here at all for some reason. And I see no way for it to move that release with what I've got. Unless this. What is that? This looks like to be just the same part. Unless this fits here and then that lifts this up. I don't think it would do that. I hope not. You know what? I have more than enough elastic. I'm just gonna sacrifice that. Come to the string out. I'm wondering if he changed the design of this so that you put a dual trigger system that just does this. What the heck is going on with this tonight? Because it has two of these files. Let's see here. Yep. Sorry, guys. I'm actually loading up the PDF that comes with the file. See if he has some kind of instruction in here, because this trigger assembly is what's causing the issue. Everything else is done. It's the trigger assembly that's having a problem. And usually they don't have an issue with Leedle's designs. They're pretty straightforward. So triggers B. Trigger spacer. There was no trigger spacer in the file. Jesus Christ. How the hell did I miss this? All right, come on. Oh, Jesus. All right, so there is nothing that indicates how to put this thing together, unfortunately. But it looks like I am missing two trigger spacers. So I am printing those out now. That'll be about 10 minutes. Again, I sincerely apologize. Usually I'm much more prepared to do a Leedle build. This is the hardest Leedle build I've actually done for some reason. I don't get it. Even my what's it called? The Leviathan was not this much of a headache. And that's a lever action, which tends to be more complicated. So I'm going to go ahead and actually do the parts that I can put together, because this part right here is just, again, it's just fluff. It's just a matter of getting this assembly in properly, and then we're done. So buttstock is complete. And this pin 8 is way too big. So I'm going to go ahead and just snip this so it's flush. There we go. So we got this going on here. Now he's got to get the trigger assembly done, which should not hopefully take too long. Because I have those spacers coming in, and that'll be it. In the meantime, I will be looking up something real fast, because this is the same trigger assembly that he does for other blasters. I'm gonna see if I can't find an assembly guide for something here. So I do apologize again. I'm going a little bit slow right now, y'all. I am just looking at something real fast, see if I can't figure out how this is going to work. Go from there. Again, it is pretty much identical to something I just did, so it should not be this difficult. Okay. All right, so it should just be the spacers if you. I did have it right the first time. I just was missing the spacers, and that is probably what's causing this entire hiccup right here. So we're going to take this out. And once our spacers come into play, put the spacers on either side, put it back on this one, and that should technically, according to this, fix the issue. Technically. Supposedly. Yeah. Yeah, supposedly that should fix the issue. So that's going to be flipped over like this, and that should flip it up. From Gene. Okay, come on, guys. OG Purple Nexus. Y'all know better. The Purple Nexus is not the OG Purple Nexus. The purple camo is actually the third the third skin of the Nexus actually. Because the OG Nexus is the orange Nexus. That's the OG Nexus. Now, of course, you mean like the original Nexus, design. Yes, that would be the OG. But don't call the purple one the OG Nexus. I believe that the purple camouflage Nexus came out what When did Purple Camo come out? Wasn't it like 2023 was when Purple Camo came out? Or was it 2022? I know that it was like for the longest time it was just orange, and then they had the Midas Touch Gold. Oh yeah, the rare one, the Blue Nexus. So there was actually a flea market here in Ohio that had like 5 of them in stock. I bought one for like $20. I was like, oh, sweet. So I have a Golden Nexus. I have 2 of them actually. Because then I thrifted another one for $10 with a striker. I actually have the one that's new in box still. My plan with the other one that's actually open that I thrifted, it is going to be to print out the Nexus Pro kit that I have from France Foamworks, and give it the true SOCOM look to it. I need to actually perfect that file because I want to make it more printer friendly and get it out there for the public to buy them again. Because I do occasionally see the Nexus Pro still out, and I just think it'd be a nice little thing to have for you know the classics. Man, now that I look at myself through like this, my hair is really thin up top, guys. Why didn't you guys tell me my hair is going bad, falling out? If people don't normally watch my lives are going to watch this and be like, "Why is he talking about his hair? And what happened to his room? Why are we seeing all the printers now?" Um, yeah. For those who are joining me now and didn't see things before, this has always been here. This is my entertainment center. Um, Normally, when you would see my other videos, this was actually off camera, and yeah, um, you never really saw this because this is all part of my Nerf room now, and my workbench is literally like behind my TV. So cool part is I can just sit on my computer chair and just turn around. Strife. The NES is upstairs with the Wii. I don't have a PS2. I just have the PS5. And my PS4 Pro is upstairs also. My Switch is upstairs. Um, I have the NES Classic as well. What else do I have? Um, Unfortunately, when I moved here to Ohio, I had to downgrade a lot of things. My biggest regret was that my Sega Genesis Tower, and what I mean by that is that I had the Tower of Power. So I had the Genesis, the 32X, the Sega CD, and like all of the attachments in one. I had that, and it went missing. My N64, unfortunately, that went to pot. Um, and then my GameCube also went kaput. But I have the original classic Wii that plays GameCube games, so at least I can still play stuff. Genesis model, it was I want to say it was the second version, the second gen Genesis. It was just the one that had the 2 buttons up top and the little square, not the rectangular Genesis. I had a PS3. I traded in my PS3 to get a PS4 because it was supposed to be cross compatible with PS3. Uh, it was not entirely cross compatible. But whatever. Um, the PS3, I feel like they upgraded most of the games from PS4 anyway, so I wasn't too upset about that. The The other big regret that I have is that I got rid of my Atari. I had an Atari 2600, and I know that sounds like stupid because oh my gosh, when I play an Atari, no, but it's a collector's value because I mean, how many people could say I have an Atari in 2026 or 2025, I should say. All right, let's try this again with the spacers. See if this works now. What is causing you to get held up? Literally, what the hell? Oh, I think I got it now. There we go. Now that works. Yay! All right. That's the ticket. This should work now. Of course, I put one pin in before I should have, which is the mag release pin. Get in there. I started a new channel called Secondhand Hammers. There we go. And there we go. It looks like that's going to fall out. But we'll see. All right, so I'm going to cut some more string. Let's get a little longer this time. I have more to work with. A lot more string, actually. Fade this through here. Oh, good. Why are you not going further than this? Oh. All right, that works. So I'm just going to connect these two parts back here. Two more pins. Now, I'm not going to cut this yet because I could probably actually add some, tighten this up a little bit more. It feels like a pretty smooth prime. I just want to see how well this fires real quick. But first, we're going to put the muzzle on here so you guys can see the full effect, what we have. Where the hell did my muzzle? Oh, here it is. What is going on with this now? So, do that too. So there we have it. It looks like I may need to print another A, but I think this should be good. I thought I had another A on around here, but I must have miscounted. So here's the blaster in general. You know, pretty decent build. Kind of a pain in the ass. And again, these pins are falling out, so I'm gonna need to glue this sucker in a little bit. Let's do that real quick. Then we'll test to see what we get out of this. So that should be adhering there. I'll need to put one more pin for down here, unless, yeah, that's a pin B, pin C. So, which I still never figured out where pin C was supposed to go. Oh, I guess it went down here. But yeah, let me get a magazine in here real quick. Got a drum mag. And do I have a dart here? Used waffle tip dart. Oh. See how this works. Okay. I mean, it seems pretty decent. Let's move our chronograph to the screen so we can see this. All right, so this actually is just a standard elite dart I'm going to use now. It's 81 with a standard elite dart. That's pretty used, so I could probably tighten this string up a little bit. Gosh. It's a much better conditioned dart. That had an error. Okay, one of the X-Shot Insanity darts hit 80. It's a hard tip. That also hit 80. Elite dart. It's one of the Fortnite darts. It's used as shit, and that got 50 that time. So right now with the string at its tied, right now we're getting in the 80s. I'm gonna see if I can't tighten this a little bit more and make it shoot a little bit spicier. And then we're gonna test with the half darts because I really think since this works with the full length mags, we should be able to get some decent performance with half darts out of this. Get eyes on the chat here, guys. Welcome back, Andy. This is really loose. Okay. Let's tighten this string up a bit. Okay, that's a much harder prime. Damn. Yep, a little too tight. All right. Not loosen it up, actually. Nope, that is way too tight. Okay. That is where I need to actually install a pump grip for this thing, because that is very tight in there right now. It's one of those suction tip darts. Oh, jeez. Okay. No to suction tip darts. Absolutely not the suction tip darts, apparently. Mental note. Suction tip darts did not work with this. Or, well, it got stuck in here. Okay. Let's try another one of these rage fire darts. Why are my joysticks stuck in this? Okay, so that got 112. So, all right. It hits about 112 with the rage fire darts with a tighter string. Once you actually tighten it as much as possible, that's over 100. I think I'll take that. Now we're gonna glue this pin because it keeps on wanting to get out of place. I don't want that. All right. So the only issue I have, well, the main issue I have right now with this blaster is and that's a print tolerance setting with my A1. It's with the pins, but outside of that, I'm okay with this thing. It actually turned out to be a decent build for what it is. Yeah, that's got some pop. There we go. Take this other pin in here. So there you go, guys. That's the lamprey. What do y'all think? You like the colors or what? I wanted to go with like an Elite 2.0 thing, especially now that I got it like this. Because, yeah, it performs better than Elite 2.0. Go figure. You know, it definitely performs better than Elite 2.0. Hands down. Like, there's no doubt about that. This pin also needs to be pretty tightened down here. There we go. You avoided black on blasters for the most part. So this is not black, actually. This is metallic gray. I was just wanting to go with something darker for the most part. The blue on orange with the gray, that actually technically falls within the Elite 2.0 color scheme, which is why I went with it. But yeah, I try to avoid black unless I'm doing something like more cosplayish. So yeah. And hey, good night, Strife. And good night, Bill.